Well, hello everybody. Hello, Asmahan. Good day. How you doing?
Hi, Blessing. I hope you are doing okay. Brandy?
Okay, I'm sure you have some technical issues because I can barely hear you. Well, to our viewers, you're all welcome. I know you're having a great day. Please, can you just make us know you're around, drop some comments, and just like open your questions because we are going to have a very fun-filled evening. We are having, how can I say it? These guest speakers are so rich in knowledge that I bet you're not going home today empty-handed. I know there is a need to extend this because of course we are going to, or we schedule another time. That's not anything for the guests.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Preparing Yourself for Global Opportunities. My name is Asman Saidu, and my pronouns are
Uh,
she and her. I am the publicity secretary at Exponential, and I will be the co host for today. So, today we will be having the greatest opportunity to meet and learn from great youthful minds and how can I call them opportunity hackers, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So we would be really honored to have people from around the continent be our guest speakers and people from around the continent be our listeners as well.
Yeah.
So we will be discussing various topics such as networking, such as youth leadership, such as the form and benefits the four main benefits of modern competence and as well as African peace. So, guys, do not hesitate to share the event link to your friends and family members, as well as share it on our own social media handles. And as well, please be free to put your name in the chat box. Um, Ask people's names, be acquainted with each other, put your name, your country, and of course, your country of origin. And also be free to ask any questions. I and Brandy here would do our best to answer each and
Yeah.
every question you guys put down.
All right. Thank you very much, Saifu. You have a very rich profile. I believe I'm not only going to benefit from the guest speakers, but you as well have to tell me. So I just introduce myself. I am Julie Brandy. With me there. I am a BA graduate in linguistics and African languages, and I'm also an MC. I'm into entrepreneurship, and the profile goes on and on and on. But today I am your host, and I'm having a very beautiful co-host. You see her just concentrating because she's gathering some facts to just pour in, and just drop some comments.
I think we lost her. So fine. Can However, we're going to continue with our first guest speaker. Oh, she's back.
Yeah,
What happened?
I had some network issues. Sorry.
Oh, I see. So you could go on. Go on, please.
What's happening?
The network stopped you while you were speaking, so I think you should go on and tell us who the beautiful Brandy is.
I'll have to leave again.
She left again. Okay, we're just going to go ahead while waiting for Brandy to come back. We're going to go ahead with our first speaker, Abubakar Bari, who is Abubakar Bari is a young Sierra Leone currently studying the bachelor's arts in global challenges of at the African Leadership Academy University. He is an environmental enthusiast who is looking forward to reducing the negative human impact on the environment. I think we're going to. Guys, we're really sorry. We're having technical issues. really sorry, guys. Please go on in the chat box and give us your name, your country of origin, and where you are located right now. Ask every question you want to ask, and we would do our best to answer the questions. Yeah, and the next step is introducing our very, very, very special guest speaker, Mr. Ateki Seta. Mr. Ateki Seta Caxton, who is the Executive Director of the Network for Solidarity, Empowerment and Transformation for All. He is also as a Dropper Hughes Fellow at Stanford University and the National Endowment for Democracy, and served as the former Human Rights Coordinator of Women in Alternative Action, WAA Cameroon. Having mentored thousands of young people in the civil society space in Cameroon, he stands out as one of the top leaders in his space. His leadership aptitude and experience has seen him travel and speak in international conferences around the world and being the Africa France Summit. Mr. Caxton, you're welcome, and we're very, very honored to have you here today. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I wonder whether you can hear me. I'm just wondering. I want to confirm whether you can actually hear me. Can you hear me?
We can't hear you clearly, so I
Um,
think you should raise your voice a
perhaps.
little.
Okay. So, is it better now?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody, and I'm so glad to be here. And I want to thank Mr. Bontatos for the invitation. I am called Ateki Sekataston. I direct the Network for Solidarity, Empowerment, and Transformation for All. So this afternoon, I was actually, asked to come just share my own perspectives on the importance of youth networking, I would say youth participation, in the evolution of youth today. So I just want to share. I wouldn't really want this to be like a kind of lecture where you spread ideas about a particular concept. It's just to share my own experiences about what this topic really means to me in a personal way. So where do I start? I have really been, I would say, I've really been able to understand. I've really been able to test of the fruits of networking myself, as a civil society actor. For many years that I've been in this sector, it has really been through networking that I have had the different kinds of opportunities that I have been able to explore for many years. I Somebody told me at one point that what you become in the next 5 years is really going to depend on, number one, the books that you read, and number two, the people that you know. And I think that statement has stuck with me. It's a friend who works at the African Union. He told me that the people that you know will definitely determine where you be, where you will be in the next 5 years. Um, and that was a very important lesson. So from that day, I think I really had a new perspective about how I should view the people that I interact with, the people that I meet every day when I have, youth engagement activities, or people that I meet in different international conferences, people that I meet in different settings. So, but I mean, just to kind of go down to the, to the brass tacks. Networking basically is the idea of connecting with other people. I think I know. This is really quite different from the whole networking, which I know the IT people who may be online would be perhaps may be oriented to. But networking in the social space is just the idea of meeting people, especially people who share your own specific interests. Of course, what would draw you to a particular network is basically because you have a particular interest, and so you're looking for people who share, for like-minded people who share that kind of interest, per se. So, for me, that is what networking really means in the simplest terms. Now, how do you even get to create these networks? How do you even meet people like this? I think number one, information is key, and having access to information about the people who share the interests that you have is very crucial. So if you are a civil society actor who is working in the domain of, let's say, human rights, let's say youth issues or environment, now if you want to build networks, the first people that you want to look at are people who are really sharing specifically the work that you do, and who have maybe some experience in the domain that you're working in, and that you want to be able to tap from this experience in order to be able to help your own particular career growth. So it is very, very crucial in the world today. In the world today, basically everything is about networks. I mean, whether it is governance, whether it is getting finally employed in the international space, or um, even locally, it's usually because people know you, and people know what you can be able to deliver, and that's why somebody would recommend you for a particular position. So number one for me, I think access to information is very, very, very crucial. And then, I mean, maybe even access to the platforms. Sometimes today, I mean, the internet has facilitated a lot of things. Where you have websites like LinkedIn, for example, where people can post their CVs there, post their profiles, post their experience, and somebody who is actually job hunting, or somebody who is actually headhunting as well, may come there and be able to see the opportunities that people are trying to expose themselves to. Because at the end of the day, it's just trying to make yourself eligible for somebody to be able to see your potential, and then probably recruit you. If the idea is looking for a job, maybe within a particular space, so you get into that space, you make yourself known. So access to information is one thing. Access to platforms that can help you be seen is another thing. I will tell you, a story about how I think networking really helped me personally. There used to be like, there's the World Youth Movement for Democracy. They used to run activities online, and these activities used to be like frequent. They were done like once every 2 weeks, once every month, and so on. So usually, where I was working, I would take time off from there because sometimes the internet was very bad. So I would take time off there, go to the cyber cafe, and buy time, which would maybe an hour, which would permit me to be able to attend their conferences. So, and it's by doing that every time. So when they do that, I would get into it. Although I was not even invited to speak or to be a panel or to make panelist or to make any contribution, I would just be online. So there are people there who take note, who look at the participants and see that this guy has been a regular participant for meetings. Every time he's there, he's from Cameroon. He's talking about it, and then sometimes you ask very important questions about the topic of the day and so on. For me, that is basically how I started engaging. So I'll get on this platform, ask questions every time. I didn't really, I mean, honestly, at that time, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't have an idea about where I was going to or where that was going to take me, but I was just participating. Um, so I mean, suddenly I had, and this platform, the World Movement for Democracy, is based in the US. So there are different. They actually I mean like I would say sub organization of the National Endowment for Democracy. So my participation with this particular movement on their online, like, it was just participating in conferences, nothing else. I was just participating, getting to share my views, but I didn't know that somebody was taking note of me. I didn't know, right? And then So I wrote at the same time I was writing grant proposals to to the National Endowment for Democracy. I mean, the idea was that I just wanted to see whether I can get a grant. So I wrote a grant and it was rejected. I wrote the second time, it was rejected, right? Because they didn't really know me. But then uh, I was surprised. One day somebody got to me that they first sent me a friend request on Facebook. I was like, this is a very strange name. Like, I mean, why would this person be sending me? Because I see we have no mutual friends. They sent me that friend request. I was like, okay, I accepted. And then the person sent me a message. Hi, Ateki. This is I'm from the World Movement for Democracy. We've been taking note of your participation in our different platforms and forums. I'm just wondering whether you will be able to actually be a panelist on the next session. I mean, that was the first impression. This was I never knew that this was about just trying to see my own levels of competence and so on. So I accepted that. Yeah, I'm ready to share my experiences. So it was, and then they organized that, and I was a panelist, and I had to prepare, share the perspectives on youth. It was about youth political participation and its impact on our sector. And I kind of shared the campaigns that I was passionate about, the Vote 18 campaign in Cameroon, because that's something I was doing. Like, I mean, back then we still do that, although it's kind of on another level now. But the Vote 18 is like the campaign where we do we're advocating for the voting age in Cameroon to be lowered. So I shared that. It was kind of a very unique idea for them, and they were so impressed. And then the next thing, honestly, the next thing was that they are inviting me to a youth conference in Senegal. Imagine that was the first time I was going to go out of Cameroon. Imagine they were, so it was youth and political democratic transition, youth and democratic transition in Africa. So they're saying that we're inviting you to Senegal to join other youths from across Africa to discuss on the topics of youth and democratic transitions in Africa. I was like, I mean, they asked me, are you ready to be able to, are you available to be able to go to Senegal and participate? I mean, for me, I told them I was, I mean, it was just, that was the first opportunity. I mean, I was ready since to be able to get to Senegal. I mean, to be able to participate with other youths and everything. It was just like that. I mean, and then they paid me a flight on Royal Air Maroc. I lived from here, went to Casablanca, and then went to Senegal. That was my first time ever on these things. First time. But it was just because I got to a website, was working, contributing. They got to me as a panelist. I accepted I was available, and then they invited me. Then that didn't end it. Some of the people that I've been writing grant proposals to, right? They were also at that conference in Senegal. Imagine. Then I wrote when I got to them, and then they introduced me as this is Ateki from Cameroon. He's a very active member of the World Movement for Democracy. He's been really sharing very wonderful ideas and strong points. So these guys now were interested. The people who I used to write project proposals to them and they rejected. I mean, now I was like face to face with them now. I told them, like, I've been writing different grant proposals to the National Endowment for Democracy, and I've been rejected because I never really had the track record, because we're a young organization. Maybe they never knew me, but this is the work that I do. I now took time off to get flyers. It's very important when you're networking. It's very important to be well armed, right? I got flyers about what we're doing. I had printed some. I had also like a business card that I printed. I shared the flyers to all of them, shared the business card to all of them, and then they told me that, well, of course you've tried, but then you should try to apply. Then at least for that point, at that point, the people had seen me, right, see the work that I do, and see the kind of ideas that I share, and so on. And or even during the conference, I was able to, I was not even a panelist. I just asked questions from the floor, and I was able to, join. Like, they wanted to set up a task force to get to work on renewing the African Democracy Forum and so on. I mean, I just willfully joined the task force, came back, developed it. It was just so voluntary. I mean, and then later on, when I applied for a grant proposal, you already have created this community around you They've known you. They've known the work that you do. They've known that this guy is a kind of, voluntary, you just want to give your best. I mean, for the first time ever, after writing a grant proposal twice and getting rejected, for the first time ever, I wrote a grant proposal and it was accepted. you know it was not like the other times, if I was telling somebody, if there's a situation where medals were given to you after you've written, you've given the grant proposal, and they tell you, sorry, we're interested in we thank you for your interest in this opportunity, but sorry, it was very competitive and we had many more qualified candidates, and you're not if there were medals that were supposed to be given after that kind of mail, I would have had so many medals. Why? Because that was like the standard response that I had for many of the things that I applied for. But after, just networking like that, one of the things that I realized was that it is possible. It's just making yourself known. It is just making yourself known, and people discover who you are and what you have to offer. And once people see that you're authentic, that you're for real, I mean, you would have access to different opportunities. I mean, since then, for me, traveling out of the country was like something very, very, special back then. That was like the first time I was getting out of Cameroon. But imagine, that was 2015 till now, I've been to more than 20 countries. Imagine, in this world, and in a very short while, I don't even know, like, it's because for every opportunity that I get, people discover you. People really discover you. And even for later grants that I eventually got, was because I took advantage of the platforms that I had. There was a grant that we had, for example, with Osiwa, which is based in Senegal. I was invited to moderate a panel in another event. Now there was somebody from this organization who decided to attend that might, because it was a side event. So they saw the way that I moderated the event, and then after that they came to me. So, hello, how are you? I learned you're from Cameroon. So what did you do? I really like your presentation there. So I was like, okay, this is me. I do this. I do that. I do that. Okay, you see, we're looking at the challenges that you guys are having right now in the country, and by then I had just written an article about my perspectives on the issue, and I shared the link with this person, and then the next thing is that they invited me for a conference in Senegal, like, I mean, just to talk about the issues. And then eventually those of us who were invited for the conference were asked to look at the different conclusions that we had, the different areas that we had earmarked for solutions to be brought up. So humanitarian challenges, youth participation, and all of these things. So I wrote a grant on youth participation, and that's how we got it, just by talking to somebody, and then them inviting you, and then you making relevant contributions, and then that is it. Today, honestly, I would say where I've been to today, where I've been, the different kind of places I've been to, even just the different kinds of things I've been able to access, is because of networking. So I'll tell anyone, like everyone who is watching, and at this point, there is a lot of power. I'd never be discouraged. There's a lot of power in building networks, and building networks that really resonate with the work that you're passionate about. Don't just network anyhow. Like, network with people that can help you, because at the end of the day, you should know where you stand. If you're networking with people who you are the best, you're the top, and then the people that network with you are lower than you, and then you realize that you're still even yourself nowhere, it is not a very good network. I say you should always network, from a place where you can actually climb. So network across. Especially when you've climbed. Also, I'm not saying that you shouldn't network with people below you. Network across the board, because people below you have something to learn from you and grow. People above you can be able to pull your hand up to the next level. So it's important that you network across the board, but then also be able to look at where you stand, and try as much as possible to take advantage of all the things that are available for your growth and so on. So I wouldn't want to take much of your time, because I also have another conference like right away there's a professor that we have to talk to at the University of Witwatersrand running in South Africa. I'm continuing the networking process, so allow me to be able to. So you have to allow me to be able to continue networking. But thank you so much for the time. I don't know whether there's one or two questions for me before I leave.
From Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We've noted so many beautiful things that you've said about network, how much network, how important networking is. But as from the comments below, there is no question apart from people saying how beautiful and good the vibes are. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I wish you all the best with with the rest of the conference. Let me join the other networks, and all the best to you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you very much.
Keep
Yeah.
on networking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Guys, we've seen how much Mr. Ateki tells us that information is key, consistency, participation, and the biggest of all is that rejections are no barriers. No matter how many rejections you get, keep moving. Next, we are going to go on with another beautiful guest. But before that, please send your questions into the comment section. Be engaging, network, send in questions, please. And we're going to answer all these questions in a short while before the each guest speaker goes away. He's going to answer your questions. Please ask the questions. Don't be scared. And Brandy is back. Brandy, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right. I would say we had a very wonderful session with Mr. Ateki. And if there's one thing I noticed, he said, what you become tomorrow depends on the books you read and the people you know. And I think that's a very peculiar thing about what he said. Like, what should I read? Should I read about romance? Like, is that really where I'm going to? Should I be hanging out all the time, the kind of hangout we know? Is that really where I'm going to? But I had one question for him though, those he slept. He did not tell us if he was ready, like he had his passport and everything ready, because some people will hear that he was invited to Senegal and think they provided passport and everything. So I think we're going to get that information from him and relay it back to everybody watching us. And going on to the comment section, oh my god, it's so loaded. We have
Right.
Ghislaine Lionel, we see you, Jonathan Swift, Gako, Patricia, we see you, Mukebe, oh my god, it is so beautiful. We see Mancho, Mr. Mancho,
Mukebe
oh
is
god, it's
speaking
really
from
wonderful.
Mukebe is
Please
speaking
don't leave
from the
us.
United
Share as much as possible. It's really going to be a wonderful time with you guys. We don't want you to miss anything. And moving on, since time is not on our side, we want to give you the best. Today, we want to give you the best. We are going to call on our second speaker. That is Bloom Blessing. That's the only female. Did I say female or what? And okay, what I'm hearing is he has some technical difficulties. And okay, we're going to go out of Cameroon. Let's say that we are going into the diaspora to import another great mind, an Ubuntu kind of mind. You know what I mean? I'm very sure people in the comment section know what I mean. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, Patricia, we see you. So we are going to call on, okay, oh, Bakari. Is it Bakari? Oh, sorry, Barry. You know, in Cameroon, I used to settle names when it comes like this. This is a very warm welcome for you in Cameroon. Welcome, Mr. Abubakar Bari. You're looking so fine there in Sierra Leone. Now these things are. So Mr. Bari is the African. He's going to talk to us about the African youth state. He's an African man, you know this kind of thing. He is from Sierra Leone, all here with Sierra Leoneans working out. And he's a young Pan Africanist who believes in the potentials of young people. It's one thing to have potentials and it's another thing to believe in yourself. So, Mr. Abubakar, you have the floor. Inspire.
Okay. Thank you very much for this space. Can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about the background. The West is very spicy as always.
Accept
So yeah,
it.
it was an honor to meet with Mr. Ateki. I feel like he highlighted many significant things when it comes to we as youth. So I want to start today by asking Are we familiar with the term "we are the future"? The youth are the future. The youth are the future.
Yeah, I think I am.
Sorry
Okay,
about that. Can you hear me?
welcome back, Mr. Barry.
Okay, yeah. So I want to start by asking the youth on this particular conference today, when do we think is the future? Because when it comes to we dealing with the African youth space, we're talking about the future. This is something which we have been miscomplicating over the past years. So during the African Leadership University graduation ceremony, our keynote speaker was Visu Etimbe Kwayo, a South African public speaker, asked a significant question. Like, we as youth, what is the hope for Africans and the African continent? So today, I want to start with the concept known as the Afrofuturism. It comes into play in the year 1993 by Mark Dewey. This is an individual that do a lot of research, and I believe majority of us might have heard or have watched the movie titled Black Panther. I feel like this is a movie that is trying to like portray the African spirit in a way wherein we use technology and visionize the type of future we want to see for Africa. So, but now we will not be able to achieve certain Pan-African concepts without upholding the term called opportunities. So moving forward, the word Pan-Africanism has been into play over the past years. Many African leaders have worked towards achieving this particular goal. But as a result of we lacking certain abilities as Africans, has been disturbing us, especially when it comes to we not upholding the Ubuntu spirit, just like what Brandy was saying. If you're new to the Ubuntu concept, it's simply stating that I am because we are. I repeat, I am because we are. So basically, the only way I can and we are is through what? Uniting as Africans. So I feel like if we're moving forward to achieving certain goals or certain Pan-African goals, I believe these are the things we need to start thinking about. Okay, this is the future we want. There are youth outside there with brilliant ideas and the four corners of the continent, but not having the platform or have not have the networking, just like what Mr. Ateke was saying, have not have the right channel on how they can portray or send this message to the world at large. So when we talk about Afrofuturism, when we talk about Pan-Africanism, the first thing we need to think about is Ubuntu. We uniting as African youth and moving forward. Excuse me quickly. Okay.
Okay, Jade, I think Mr. Barry has some network problems, but let's go on to the comment section to see how it's going. Okay. Okay, we have a question. Here is my question about networking. It's one thing to start networking,
Okay.
that is another thing. All right, he's back. So, lady, just hold
So
on to your
sorry, the background is very noisy. Hope you guys are okay with that, please. You know the West. My
position.
neighborhood is somehow noisy as well. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Just to confirm, Brandy, can you hear me? Okay. So as I was saying, so if we're moving forward to achieving the concept of Afrofuturism, the concept of Pan-Africanism, we need to start thinking of how we can be united as Africans. Understand? So now, while Mr. Ateke was doing his presentation, he noted some certain things. This shifts us to something called what? Opportunity sourcing. I repeat, opportunity sourcing. We heard what Mr. Ateke was saying. He wrote the grant 2 times. It was rejected, but he never gave up. He continued doing it. But now Africans are in that particular space we're in. We lack one major thing that is called what? Research. Research. I repeat, research. So now we are in that particular space we are in. People will prefer to use their mobile data to go to TikTok, watch musical videos on YouTube, rather than sourcing for opportunities through secondary research. So we are in that particular space wherein we are having the minimum resources available, but now we are not making use of these resources on how we can change the narratives of our African continent. So now, when it comes to opportunity sourcing, I want to start by first thing, which is very, very key, which is research. Research. There are two types of research: secondary and primary. So I would say when it comes to platforms, spaces where you can source opportunities, it goes in line with what the secondary research. That's when we talk about places like opportunity decks. You going on Google, making sure that you search deeply on for opportunities. There are conferences out there. There are platforms that give free learning certificate like Coursera, Allison's. The ALX is there. There are a lot of opportunities outside there. Get. Next, we move toward the primary research part, which is what? Networking. So basically, when it comes to networking, as Mr. Ateka was saying, the people you know today have a great effect on the space you will be tomorrow. I'm a great example, just like what Mr. Ateka was saying. Um, I was in Sierra Leone already in university, but when I came to know about African Leadership University, through a friend who was a schoolmate back in my high school. He told me about the application. I started the application. It was tough, rigid, but I pulled through. And here I am today, a final year student about to graduate. So just imagine if I was not going to school back then, or I was not in that particular space with like-minded people, I would not be able to be at African Leadership University as of today. And then I want to move next to what? Something called what? Mission driven. When it comes to sourcing opportunities outside there, you have to be mission driven. There's a clear example about Usman Toure. I don't know if you guys are aware about him. He's a young Gambian that refused scholarships from the Western world just to make sure that he attend an African university. He was looking forward to what? Study the developmental model of Kigali, Rwanda, which can be implemented in Gambia and other part of Africa. So he is a mission-driven leader. And we have seen other mission-driven leaders like the likes of Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. The mission of Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana was purely pan-Africanism, making sure that we unite as Africans, making sure that we look forward to changing the narratives of our continent, unite the continent, and making sure that we achieve greatness. Because the only way African can achieve greatness is through unity. Next, there are other leaders within the continent like Thomas Sankara, Julius Nyerere. These are people who have been pushing so hard to what? Achieve their missions. Another great example is one of the organizers of this particular event, Titus. Titus is one of the young mission-driven leaders I've seen within the African continent. I can boast of. His mission is to empower the youth outside there through education, through community involvement, changing the narratives or developing communities for a better future. You get. Being a mission-driven leader depends on the type of mindset you uphold. Being a mission-driven leader depends on the type of mindset you uphold. Because now you have a mission, you need to have the mindset. We're in a continent wherein I normally say when you are born in Africa, life is already leading you by 2 goals to 0. If you know the football terms. When you're born in Africa, life is already leading you by 2 goals to 0, especially coming from an average family in Africa. So now, in order for you to move forward, you need to have what? A positive mindset. You need to believe in yourself. There are a lot of opportunities outside there. Never give up. Mr. Ateke applied 2 times for a grant. He was not given the grant, but he kept applying. He was on the platform, texting, contributing immensely, purposefully, with meaningful comments. And you saw what happened to his networking journey. Went for a program in Senegal that created another opportunity. That opportunity created another opportunity. That was how we keep on going. But one can only achieve all of this with one word: relentless. Relentless. Never give up. Always make sure you are relentless. Um, I don't know if you are aware, but the first ever global student prize winner. It was an honor for an African to be crowned the first ever global prize winner, Jeremiah Toronka. He's the CEO and the founder of Optim Energy. He's another mission-driven leader who's a graduate from the African Leadership University. He's working on providing clean energy in Sierra Leone. During the prototyping stage, he has been able to like provide um, more than 5,000 homes and more than 5,000 plus households, schools with electricity. So these are the things that are happening within the African space. So I keep asking myself, don't think the future is tomorrow. The future is now. If you've been opportune to watch some of the videos on Title's channel, there was a time when I was hosted and I told you guys that the future is now. We do not need to wait until tomorrow, because there was a young leader who stated again that these leaders will not be around when we are handling these scrap African countries, because majority of the countries are scrapped as of now, cracked, economical policy, poor employment rate, job employment is very low, health issues, access to clean water is very low. These are all things that are embodied to like we degrading the beauty, the potential of Africa. So today, I want to leave you with something that's very, very key. While you go, think about this. There is a concept that is outside here that Africa is the darkest continent. I want to ask you a question. Do you believe that Africa is actually the darkest continent? So now it's up to you as a young leader to change the narrative that Africa is not the darkest continent. Africa has all what it takes to be on the same platform with other continents across the world. So because of time and other busy schedules, I would like to stop here, and feel free to reach out on every platform. Abubakar Barry is the name, and I'm open up for questions. Thank you very much for your time. I am Abubakar Barry.
Thank you so much, Abubakar Barry. You've contributed so many beautiful things today. Oh my God, my head is already full with stuff. I can't see. Okay, so my head is already full with beautiful stuff that was said by Abubakar, such as, Africa, we have to be united no matter what happens. The comment section, we can see you, Gako, we can see you, Levi. Please be patient, your questions would be answered. Now, since the beginning of this talks and so on, we've been seeing men, and I and Brandy have been the only women, but now we're having a beautiful, amazing guest who is Blessing Loom. She is also from another continent. Another part of Africa, and she's here so beautiful. Thank you, Blessing, for coming.
Oh,
Blessing is a lifelong learner, and she's passionate about using new and innovative business ideas to positively impact the life of others. And she's a Mastercard Foundation scholar at the what's the name of your university, please, Blessing?
but okay, the African Leadership College in Mauritius, please.
That's what I wanted to hear. I just love that college. You guys should check about it. So, Blessing, you're welcome. We love seeing you. We love hearing you. And the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. Well, welcome. I really appreciate being here. And I would just like to do a quick check-in if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, it's really a pleasure being here once again, right? And as every other person has been speaking, every other speaker is really insightful. And when I was invited to come and be a speaker here, I was really excited. I was like, another amazing opportunity to get to share my experience with the world, basically. And the very first thing that came to my mind, I was like, what has actually changed with how I was before and how I am now with the mindset of a leader, right? And the very first thing I was like, okay, let me start with my schedule. So I don't know, you could just put that in the comment section if you had the same feeling where your schedule was a bit like you wake up in the morning, you go to school, you carry out extracurricular activities, you go back home, you do homework, you study, do more studies, and maybe you get a little bit of sleep. That was basically my schedule once upon a time in my life. But luckily that changed, right? And yeah, as you can see, Leslie Loom is my name, and I'm just a typical teenager. Just that I choose to stand up against the low expectations the world has of youth. And I would like to say I'm not as artistic as you might think I am, or a genius like Mark Zuckerberg who founded Facebook at 20. No, I still have supervision from my mom, if I must say. And I was just like an ordinary student back then who had the passion to be out there doing something really important, something which can really impact others, right? But people's expectations of teenagers are really low, if I must say. All they expect of you, which is good by the way, is for you to pay attention in school, get good grades, don't smoke, don't do drugs, do your chores without complaining. But this doesn't mean that getting good grades doesn't require work, but it just feels like, or it felt like, a pretty low bar to clear, per se. And I just asked myself, like, why is the society's expectations so low? Like, do any of you find this insulting? I mean, let's just see that in the comment section, guys. And why aren't our standards as youth a little higher or a lot higher, such that we can set higher goals? Just ask yourself those questions and you can positively provide answers to them, right? And this realization came to me last year when I became a student at AFC. So let me just give you a little bit of context. When I got admission into the University of Bamenda, I defined success as being the top student of my department. Sorry, yes, I used to be one of the top students in my department, in my class, but I didn't feel any sense of fulfillment. This was because all I did was because I looked at others from the lens of intimidation and not inspiration. And so I got to get a true definition of success for myself when I planned and executed my first ever workshop on the teamwork competence. And this brought me a realization that success is actually working in purpose, right? Which to me, it's service, giving back to my community by using the resources I have as a youth to empower fellow youths. So I can boldly say that I have been successful every time I maximize opportunities to serve my community, such as this one, with the aim of inspiring them and not intimidating them. That's what I can say for me success is. And so, briefly, youth leadership has indeed proven to be essential for youth, to the youth leader, and to other youths. So, youth leadership actually supports the personal development of the youth by building their self confidence, igniting them the ability to analyze their strengths, and not just their strengths, their weaknesses, of course, to help them set personal goals and also to have self-esteem, because that's one thing which most youth nowadays lack: self-esteem. But this in turn motivates them to attain the set goals, right? So by doing this, you are influencing other youths to aspire for growth too. So hello, if you didn't know that personal growth aids another person to grow, you should know that now. So before I could realize how much impact this simple step of organizing the teamwork workshop had created, I found myself organizing other workshops, coordinating and planning meetings, meeting with experts, and I needed help and a growth strategy. And of course, a team. So teamwork practically is one of the main aspects which I want you as a youth leader to identify as what you need. You need to work with a team. Yes. And this gives you a more defined group of persons with whom you can go about creating and managing impact with. So you must be asking yourself why I emphasize on creating and managing impact. Yes. We mainly talk about creating impact, but we talk less about managing impact, right? As a youth leader, you should Manage impact. You can do this by following the 5 dimensions of measuring impact, which ask yourself, who are you influencing by this act? What are you doing actually? How much impact is it going to create? What contribution does it add to this person's lives? And what is the risk? Many people also tend to forget the risk involved in carrying out any activity. Let's say, for example, you are about to organize a session on financial literacy or a financial literacy kind of workshop, and you can just ask yourself, who are the persons, who are my target market, right? And what am I going to teach them? Obviously, topics regarding financial literacy, and how much impact is it going to create? I would like to really quickly jump to the risk part of it, which is where most people tend to forget that you are supposed to take your preparation stage seriously, and they tend to quickly jump into the spotlight. And when you get into the spotlight really fast without being prepared on what you are getting into, it will burn you. So before you admire someone, oh, he's on the spotlight, he has this amazing profile. Oh my God, that person has gone through a lot of preparations before getting there. Okay, so you can measure impact in both quantitative and qualitative terms, and this quantitative data gives you apt knowledge about the problem areas in your projects or whatever thing you want to do that creates impact your life basically. And qualitative data will give you or will help you to understand where exactly this problem is coming from. So mind you, I mean, yeah, you hearing all these stories and talks is for you to get to work. It's simply a call to action. Okay. If we keep sharing talks, no improvements or no improvements are being made, then it will just be a waste of resources, especially the resource of time. So I'm talking to you today because I challenged myself to reach higher, and I use the gifts I have. We have certain privileges, we have amazing opportunities which we have thought that are not really great opportunities or are not the stage for us. But you too can better use your lives and other things, other privileges you have to help others too in their own lives. Okay, we are the future of this world as youth leaders. We are the future of this world, our generation. So when you embrace the low expectations of the world, you are literally hindering or delaying your growth and that of others. So we are still growing and experimenting our likes, yes, and dislikes, and finding our passions and working on our missions. But don't stop this leadership journey of yours, and keep growing. Okay, keep experimenting. So just like you need to study and practice for a test, right? You need to gain experience. You need to gain the leadership skills. You need the listening skills, empathy. Generally, you need emotional intelligence. Okay, also the way to speak, speech skills, right? You need those. Read books, listen to audiobooks, attend amazing conferences such as this. Like, just get prepared. Get yourself prepared for the spotlight. Yeah, you're the future of tomorrow. Doesn't mean you should wait for that tomorrow before you start work. I would like to reveal to you that tomorrow is now. Okay. So make your own opportunities, because opportunities won't come knocking at your door and tell you that, oh yeah, I'm an opportunity. Can you please take me up and stuff like that? No, you need to create these opportunities, right? Practically, there are so many problems that need solving. So why wait for a grand stage when you have neglected the preparation stage? You have the stage. The spotlight is on you already. So hello, dear leader. If you have been a prefect, you've led a project, you've written names of noisemakers, you shared food at home and said, oh, you take just 1 minute and stuff. You are a leader. Okay, you will barely agree with me, but I tell you today that the soft skills you gain through these experiences set the pace and grant you experience that form part of your leadership journey. We need to work on our soft skills, guys. So you just need to be self-aware, and this is the essence of leadership. We all are leaders. So people don't consider themselves leaders because of excuses like we have no opportunities. No, all you have to do is take the initiative, okay, and be self-aware. People who are compassionate should know that they have the ability to take initiative. You two are like, I'm a friendly person, I make friends laugh. You should know that they are good networkers. And the list practically continues. Just find your base, just find your unique starting point and be self aware. You might be asking yourself that if everyone is a leader, then who is the follower? We are all followers. Yeah, we are all followers. And imagine the world as a machine. Every part has a role to play, right? These parts can't play the role of others. This is the way we are in the world. We are an ecosystem where everyone has a unique role to play. Everyone has a niche. Create different footprints and different impacts. As years go by, youths are regarded as notorious, rebellious, vibrant, when we really just have a different perspective of the way we see things. And it is not recognized because we don't have enough representation. So, hey, youth leadership is changing things, if I must say. So, don't let age be a restriction by the society. Don't let it catch you. It makes you doubt your own ideas. But once you liberate yourself and get empowered, trust me, your thinking itself empowers you. And we can get the whole world to look at youths beyond our ages. Okay, so you are on the stage now. Start creating that change in your community. Start from your home. Be a leader. Take charge and stand up for what is right. Go ahead and find your niche and lead. Yes, I challenge you, youth leaders, to change your impossible to I'm possible. And I will challenge you to tell yourself firmly this point that you can change the world. Yes, you are a leader. So be that leader. Thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, thank you very much, Miss Leslie. Ah, you've inspired and inspired and inspired. So that person who said knowledge is power. Hallelujah be unto you and your family. Because you've given us so much power in what that I don't think you know what you're actually doing. You know what you're doing, but the power you're doing, I'm not sure you know what you're doing. The comment sections are just lit. Everybody is so inspired. I think projects are just coming into minds and all that. And if something really struck me, it was us setting pretty low bar or the society setting pretty low bar for youth, thinking that they're just for doing the useful things we are known to be doing, maximizing opportunities, personal growth. There is something about our personal growth that we always neglect, and I'm so grateful for you bringing that up. Create and manage impact. It's a lot of fun to create, but the challenge now comes in managing the impact. Thank you so much. And for the last one, speak kill. Oh, I'm going out there to just kill some bad omen with my speech right now as you just inspired me. Thank you very much. Saido, what can you say about Miss Bless? Isn't she just wonderful?
I didn't want her to stop. Honestly, I think Gakko says the same thing with me. I wish you could stay a little longer. I mean, the comment section is just blowing. People are being inspired. People are giving. I mean, they're bringing out some motivational quotes that I can't even imagine where they're coming from.
I'm telling
And
you.
this is so
See,
beautiful.
there's one thing about this. Want these people to go on and on. Network. That is just it.
Seriously,
We have had the opportunity to be in the same circle with them. What then are you waiting for? Are you waiting for God to say, my child, take this person's email, send that mail, and all that? It doesn't work that way. This is the
seriously, that,
opportunity. As Mr. Barry said, the future is now. The future is now. And personally for us, our speakers are so simple and nice, and they have understood the concept of networking, the concept of the future being now, and everything. So
be
I
the
think
you
Saido,
before, be the you way above your age. Just,
yeah,
show us that you can do something greater than anyone can think of. I mean, every single person is capable of doing so. You just don't want to grab these opportunities. I mean, just grab them. Don't be scared of rejection. Everyone tells you that rejections have no barriers, okay? We all have rejections. Everyone talks about rejections and how painful they can be, but it's just a thing of like, 2 minutes pain and stuff, and life goes on. So don't let
That's
that
it.
get.
And we have our viewers with opportunity sources. That is, if you want to actually network, source for opportunities, they will never come knocking at your door.
True. Okay, so I think we have to go on with another exceptional guest of ours, Mr. Felix. You know, I'm still trying to find the words to introduce him because Mr. Felix is something else, okay? He's an award winning entrepreneur, CEO, and founder of LifeGate Solutions. Please check out what LifeGate Solutions are, okay? And he's also the creator of the Cameroon GC Guide app. He's saving so many lives out there. And in 2018, his Cameroon GC Guide app won the Best Mobile App of the Year at the Botte Digital Media Awards. In the same year, Felix Formingria, I'm sorry about the pronunciation, was featured among the 100 personalities inspiring Cameroon in the category of IT and innovation by Inspire 237 magazines of Yes Cameroon. In September 2019, he won the Orange Social Ventures Prize with his Cameroon GC Guide app. And trust me, guys, it's not easy. It's not just easy to win those kind of awards and prizes and so on. And the list goes on about his you know, uh, uh, digital journey and IT journey and all of that. And recently, he emerged the second prize winner for the 2022 national competition, TIE Champions, for the best startup project in response to the impact of COVID-19 by the European Union. So he's not just an IT specialist, but he cares about our health. Guys, please listen to him. Welcome, Mr. Felix.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here. And I want to thank my brother Titus for this opportunity and to equally wish him a happy birthday today. So I believe you guys have actually touched a lot. I'll be going straight forward and I'll be talking on how we can make use of technology to actually preparing ourselves for opportunities. Um, there's a lot which we can actually achieve today with regards to technology. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint, my screen, and I'm going to proceed from there. So guys, just give me a minute to actually upload the file. Okay, so guys, while the file is being uploaded, I'll just give okay, so
Okay, guys, while waiting for Mr. Felix to come on, we're going to check in the vibes at the. Okay, it's
Okay.
loaded.
Okay, all right, guys. So I think we are good to go. So I'll be very brief, and I'll be talking on how we can make good use of technology to preparing ourselves for opportunities. And I'll tell you guys that there's a lot which actually um, we can actually make use of from technology, and technology is really a great field, and basically it cuts across every aspect of life, every aspect. So a brief about my background: I'm Felix Omenja. I'm a tech person. I'm the founder of Large Solutions, which is an IT firm, and under Large Solutions, which I founded 2 years ago, we have been able to develop the community figure app, which is an innovative tool which is helping students find past questions, find exam resources across Cameroon. And I actually started boy, I think 2nd year by then. That's April 2018. And I was able to make use of my skills, the skills I had in tech, and to make use of technology, making use of social media to be able to propagate this information which I actually developed. And today I'll tell you that over 15,000 students are making use of this application across the country. And also, I've been able to win a couple of awards, which I think when I was doing introduced, you actually heard about. So this is the work which we have been doing, and briefly, I'll be sharing with us how we can make use of technology, the best ways we can make use of technology preparing for global opportunity. So technology is simply problems around us. Yes, or invent useful tools. So that is technology. It's just putting into practice science or knowledge to be able to solve problems around us, the problems which we are facing. And we have so many we have so many applications of technology today. Uh, that is, we have the social media, which constitutes a greater percentage of the internet, and we also have using technology to solve problems around us. And lastly, we have using technology for learning and for skills acquisition. So briefly, I'm going to walk us through. And the very first way we can use technology to prepare for opportunities or using technology is by building a brand, a responsible profile, or a brand for ourselves. And we have uh, platforms like LinkedIn, we have Facebook, and so many other amazing platforms, social media platforms, which we can use to build a brand for our business, our startups, our ideas, or for ourselves. And doing this, we just have to have a responsible photo. You ensure you have a bio and you can clearly describe uh, the activity which you're actually into. Yeah, as you can see from my profile. And today, many people only focus on Facebook and Instagram, but um, we have platforms like LinkedIn, which are professional platforms. Even Twitter today is becoming a professional platform. So these are platforms which we can really use. And today, you will not find uh, some very high profile people on Facebook, but these people on Twitter, they're on LinkedIn. So I believe if we should get ourselves prepared for opportunities, we should equally use social media in the right way, and using it in the right way is that what we find ourselves in these professional networks, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the other professional platforms. And also very important, we can use social media for learning. That is, you can use social media to get new skills, that is technology as a whole. And when I talk of technology, I'm looking at the internet, I'm equally looking at social media. Now, social media, we have Facebook groups, we have YouTube, we have belonging to professional networks on LinkedIn, and we also have Medium. Now, there are professional groups on Facebook. I mean, real professional groups. I've been able to network with international communities and meet, I mean, great individuals just from belonging to Facebook groups. So it is really important that we find ourselves in some of these professional groups. And we have YouTube. YouTube is an amazing platform where we have access to thousands of free videos and online resources. And I will tell you guys that when I actually started my journey, when I was coding, and when I have difficulties, I will always go to YouTube. For example, I'm a developer, and if I'm stuck, for example, while developing a Cameroon District app, which is a problem solver today. When I'm stuck, I could just go to YouTube, how to do this, how to solve this problem. And doing that, I'll always have a video, a short video on how maybe a developer in India or somewhere else has solved that problem. Yeah, so I really believe that you should not only use YouTube to maybe listen to music, but there's a lot of free video resources which we can actually make use on YouTube. Yes, and we equally have LinkedIn, which we can belong to several professional networks and professional groups. And we have Medium. I'm sure most of us should know of Medium. Through Medium, you have access to hundreds of amazing articles, publications in every domain. And it will be good for you as a research student or a student you are working on your research maybe for your final year project. Yes, you can always have free resources on Medium. And very important, we have platforms like Coursera and Udemy. Now, these are platforms which you can basically study anything from scratch. Yes, for Coursera, we have Get That Ready for Anything, dealing with more than 5,000 courses, professional certificates, and degrees from world-class universities and companies. So we have over 5,000 courses available on Coursera. Yes, be it you want to get skills as a graphic designer, you want to get skills as a photographer, as a developer, as a social media manager, you can name the rest. So all you have to do is go to Coursera.org and you create your account and you see that you have access to these free courses. And another online tool I would like to present to us is Udemy. Now, Udemy is you can access Udemy at udemy.com, and it's an online learning and teaching marketplace with over 180,000 courses and 49 million students. And learn programming, marketing, data science, and more. So these are some of the areas which you can actually learn. And today we are in the 21st century, and I would say that it's very important, very, very important to have skills. Yes, very important to have a skill. And basically, you can have a skill in every domain. As I always say, students, don't wait when you are leaving college before you say, okay, you get a skill maybe as a graphic designer, as a software engineer, or that is when you be putting your skills to practice. While you study, you have to put that your skills to practice. You apply the lessons you see how you can engage your network to be a problem solver. I say that doing this at early stage, or even before getting to having it as a graduation from school, you actually And I'm taking myself as an example of my application and all of what I did as part of development in school. And even before leaving college or having my education program, I'm doing my class now. We actually we were already living our for our product of something in the market. Yes, we not have to wait for doing something to happen to see practice. So we have Coursera, we have Udemy, and you can go on this platform and you can actually learn the skills. Um, there is a screenshot of Facebook where you have professional groups where you see things, things about things. You join this group, you see that you have at least be able to use professionals across the world. So this is how it's able to belong to professional groups. Getting early and I believe the other speakers talk on opportunities, how you can get opportunities, apply for opportunities. There are so many groups on Facebook which share thousands of these opportunities every day. So all you have to do is go to Facebook group, get this group and see that you can actually belong to this group. Yes, it's very important. We have professional groups. For example, you can search youth opportunities and you see that you belong to this group, and from there you'll be able to interact with so many uh, other professionals uh, across the world. We equally have study groups. We have study communities. In fact, every niche which you want to take part in, there are professional groups which you can actually belong to. And equally on LinkedIn, there are professional groups which you can actually belong to. I just have to round up because I'm in Boya and we currently don't have lights and soon my machines will be going off. So lastly, we can use technology to solving a problem. And by doing that, you can build, for those who are into tech, you can build a digital platform, an application. And before reaching here, you have to develop the skills in that domain. And we have talked of Udemy, YouTube, and Coursera, which you can use this platform to get skills. And also, you can use social media to providing solutions. That is, you can be able to create a Facebook page, Instagram page where you offer services to the public. And lastly, for this is a bonus for those of us who be applying to online opportunities. We have highlighted some tools which you can actually make use of to actually support your applications. In the past, I've been opportune to go to some of these opportunities and in the end will emerge as winners. So I really believe that if you prepare for an opportunity, there's no way which you will not get that opportunity. So we have Google Drive. You can use Google Drive to after scanning your documents, for example, your passport, your certificates, you can store them in Google Drives or just your photos or any document which will be important to you. Um, when filling forms or writing your essays, you can use grammar check software like Grammarly, which is going to ensure that your grammar is really intact. It is always recommended to see that you have your documents scanned. Yes, so if you're applying for an opportunity and they ask, for example, your passport, your birth certificate, you should be able to upload that to the drive, and that is by doing that you should have it scanned already. And there are so many opportunity websites which you can definitely have online, and you see that you can check these platforms weekly or daily, and you see that you benefit from opportunities. So guys, I've come to the end of my presentation. If there are any questions, you guys can ask, and I just hope that my battery will permit me to stay to the end. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Felix. It was amazing and so inspirational. The comment section is blowing up, honestly. I told you guys he will be of great he'll be really informative. And by the way, please guys, I hope you've noted all the things he showed you. They'll always come in handy at one point in your life, and grab these opportunities, please. There's a question from Ghislaine, who says, I have seen people out of my niche that I would love to connect with, and I even try, but it gets difficult because of my lack to bring to the table what is of interest to them. How can I go about it? Mr. Felix? Um, it seems he has a slight connection issues. Okay. Jocelyn, we're so sorry, but we'll try our best to answer your questions, and hopefully, you guys are all in the group, in the WhatsApp group, so that even if we don't answer these questions now, we would hopefully ask our guest speakers to answer them for you in the group chat, and we will take note of all these questions. So, um, thank you so much once more. We are now going to go to the, what the French people say, la cerise sur le gâteau. The best part, one of the best parts, like every part has been the best. We'll talk with the brain behind all of this, Mr. Titus, Abongdo Titus, who, as you might have heard from Abu Bakar, that he is, one of the greatest minds you guys will come across, and his journey is really an amazing one. He has a very, very long list of achievements, but we are going to highlight a few of them. We know we've gone above time, but it's worth it, guys. It's worth it. Um, yes, Mukabe, we would find a way for you to connect with Sir Felix, okay? Mr. Africa, as we usually call him. Here he is. He is a global sustainability leader at the United People Global at Switzerland. He is a delegate of a World Youth Forum 2022 in Egypt, a delegate at Yale Model African Union 2022 in Rwanda, the Regional Youth Excellence Awardee 2021, which is among the top 20 most influential youth in the Northwest region. Is that easy? See, the great minds that are in the Northwest region, and him being among the 20th, and you guys are seeing him, and he's going to just throw up all the knowledge he has to your faces. Please take note of everything that he says. He's also a first place winner at the Ludenso Creative Hackathon, with about 25 African countries involved, a finalist at Central African Startup Awards, the finalist at Total Energy Startup Challenge 2021, a former country ambassador at Youth Opportunities, a finalist at AFCFTA. He's going to tell us about that. I don't know. It's a creative essay competition, and founder of Exponential, most of all, an Open Dream scholar, and the list goes on. But we don't have enough time to talk about him, and so we'll just give him the floor.
Okay, thank you so much, Asmahan, for that quite brief introduction. So, guys, it's been a wonderful session so far. I've just been in the background and I've been listening to these amazing speakers go on and on and on about the wisdom that they have in different areas, and they're unveiling this knowledge to us. And I couldn't help but just keep nodding my head as these guys were speaking. So it's really a pleasure having the opportunity to speak to you today. And I'm going to kind of crown this presentation of today. So I want to sincerely thank Blessing for our wonderful presentation. I want to thank Felix for unveiling the aspects that technology provides for us. I want to thank Sir Teki Setakax. I want to thank Mr. Barry Ode from Sierra Leone for this knowledge and this experience that I've shared with us. And I want to move forward by saying that Sir Teki Setakax is one of my prominent mentors. He has mentored me for about 2 years now, since when I joined the Network for Solidarity, Empowerment, and Transformation for All. And his knowledge and his experience and his skills are just state of the art. It's not something that can be debatable or refutable. So because of my experience at the Network of Solidarity, Empowerment, and Transformation for All, I got the opportunity to travel to Egypt for the World Youth Forum. And there's one thing that I noticed with the young people in Egypt. I didn't spend a very long time there, but for the time that I was there, I noticed that the young people in Egypt have an objective mindset. A young person is thinking about the next goal, the next objective, plan to work on, the next thing that he wants to achieve. And that is kind of the disparity between the mindsets of just that particular country. I think most of North Africa as well, and us here, young people here are quite a bit different. And so the reason for that is it's not necessarily our fault, as young people that we don't have that mindset. So to some degree, it's our environment. And because of that, I came out with these four main rules that I call the four tenets of modern competence. And these four tenets of modern competence are very, very instrumental, not only in enabling us as young people achieve opportunities, but in putting ourselves out there such that these opportunities even find us. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, my presentation, and I hope that this is not going to be too tedious. Mm. All right. Okay. So we're going to talk about the four tenets of modern competence. And before we go into these four tenets, this is our plan. The four main tenets are mastery, communication, writing, and networking. So if you're able to master all these four tenets, then know that to some degree you've already prepared yourself to access and to obtain global opportunities. Now understand the word global and kind of highlight it there. Now, before we go into the juice and the source of these four tenets, let's look at some quotes. I like quotes very much because they kind of summarize the word, just like memes. The first is humility is the mother of giants. Humility is the mother of giants. Humility is the surest sign of strength. Thomas Merton. The biggest challenge after success is shutting up about it. The biggest challenge after success is shutting up about it. That's from Chris Jammy. Now, our next set of quotes is about opportunities. It is through curiosity and looking at opportunities in new ways that we have always mapped our paths. That's from Michael Dell. If a window of opportunity appears, do not pull down the shade. This one is very, very wonderful and it touches me at a particular point. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. That's the typo right there. The third set of quotes is about technology. The technology you use impresses no one. The experience you create with it is everything. Okay, good one. What new technology does is create new opportunities to do a job that customers want done. The great growling engine of change, technology. Now, as man has already given an introduction to me, so I'm not going to go into that. But if you look closely, I've kind of linked up some aspects. I've talked about humility, I've talked about opportunities, and I've talked about technology. So you have to have an attitude towards life, which is humility, one. The second thing is you have to have the resources through which you can explore your attitude to the best of it, which are opportunities. And then the third aspect is I talked about technology, and that is the medium through which you can actually get that done. So this is a photo of me here getting interviewed by the press at the World Forum in Egypt earlier this year. Okay, let's talk about mastery now, which is the first tenet of modern competence. Mastery is a deep, profound, and irrefutable knowledge in something. So it is deep, it is profound, and it's irrefutable. Mastery generates confidence and builds self-respect. You find yourself and your place in this world when you master something. Mastery can only be achieved through deep love for something or immense discipline. Now, I will recommend you to read the book Mastery by Robert Greene, which is such a wonderful book. I'm reading it myself right now, and I'm learning a lot from it. So we can crown mastery as the thing that you learn in school. Academics provides mastery to you. Your schoolwork, your coursework, the material that you go to school to obtain, the degree gives you mastery in a particular field. Now, if you look at the first point here, it says deep, profound, and irrefutable knowledge in something. So it is necessary that as young people we get mastery. We get mastery of a particular subject, we get mastery of a particular discipline, we get mastery of a particular field, we get mastery of something. And what could that thing be? It could be programming, it could be public speaking, it could be, so many things that we can gain mastery in. And I cannot help you to gain mastery in those things because there's already a system for that, and that's the academic system. Next level. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. That's a quote from Ray Green. Take note of that. Now, our next tenet of modern competence is reading. And this one, I think, is the most important tenet of all. Now, Reading and writing. Writing is a way to organize your thoughts. When you pick up a pen, when you look for a book, when you sit down and you start writing, you are organizing your thoughts. Thoughts in the head are kind of scattered, they're everywhere. But when you start writing, you start organizing your thoughts. Secondly, you learn to think and speak when you are writing. I'll say this one has been particularly very helpful to me. Sometimes I write in huge chunks, not because I need to write something very important, but because I want to learn how to think, right? I want to learn how to speak. I want to organize my thoughts. Writing does help me to do that. It gives you opportunities and opens the world to you. Sometimes, as we are going to realize eventually, you can write an essay which is so impressive, so that you win an opportunity, you get a lot of money, you win a project, you get your project funded. You basically open up the world through writing. That's how important writing is. Being able to write makes you powerful. And Jordan Peterson kind of hones into this in 12 Rules for Life. He talks about the importance of being able to move ideas from your head to a piece of paper in such a way that makes you powerful. Reading enhances your speaking skills and expands your view on life. Most of the times we go through life not knowing about what other people go through, but because you read or because you decide to read, you get to learn how people live in different parts of the world, the kind of experiences that they have, the kind of things that they basically go through, and that is very important. And reading also helps you to kind of get better writing skills. Now, Isaac Asimov says, writing to me is simply thinking through my finger. Take note of that. The next trend of modern competence is networking. And Sir Seta Caxton, kind of really touched on this. And there's some things that I want to extract from his presentation. He said, you become the people you spend time with, right? So strategic Setakax now is open to a network of these wonderful people and professional opportunities because he has spent time with a particular genre of people. So you become the people you spend time with. That you must have no control over the kind of people that we become. But if you decide to spend time with good people, with people that you admire, people that you respect, people that you value, you become like those people. Next, what you know is important, but who you know is more important. A shark can never outgrow its environment, and that is also true about you. If you take a shark and you put it in a small glass jar, it is going to be only the size of that glass jar. But you put a shark in the ocean, and it keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps growing. So if you are in a network that is expanding, if you're in a network of people that have skills and talents and opportunities, what happens is you also start to expand. That is a very wonderful one. You can have more information about this on my network, on my YouTube channel, which is the channel that this video is live streaming right now. If you're watching this video after the live stream, you can just go through the other videos and you find a particular video that I talk about the 3 ways of creating more meaning in your life. And networking is, I think, the third of those 3 ways. Let's move on. Your network is your net worth. Now, this is absolutely true. There's nothing wrong about this. The people that you know, if they have $1 million, there's a chance that the money in your account can also be $1 million. If you know a set of people who have zero in their bank account, then I don't know if you're going to have anything in your account as well. But Adio really hones in on that. The next is communication skills. When you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Nobody knows anything about you until you open your mouth. I bet most of you have not heard about me speak. It is after I started speaking that you got to really know who I am. Next, when you're able to clearly communicate what you want, you get it. Right? The Bible says it. The Bible is like, it's a big book, right? Even for those of you who are not Christians, the Bible is really a wonderful book. And, you can read it in your free time if you want to. It says, ask and you shall be given. It's very powerful. You get what you want when you clearly communicate it. You become a better speaker by first becoming a better listener. There's no way that you can speak as a good speaker if you are not a good listener. Reading and writing enhance your ability to speak. So the vocabulary that you use, the language that comes out of your mouth when you speak, when you speak, you don't have much time to think. And so reading and writing kind of shapes your mindset and builds your vocabulary when you're not speaking. So that when you start speaking, when you start communicating your ideas, when you start, trying to inspire people, everything that you have been piling up in you through reading and writing comes up at a particular moment. Jordan Peterson says, speak the truth or at least don't lie. This is rule 8 of 12 rules for life. Very wonderful book. I fully recommend that you should read it if you have the free time. Now, the thing is, we have gone through a lot. We have really squeezed everything into a very, very short, I think I've moved about 1 hour, 30 minutes right now. But now, we are giving you the opportunity to join us on a 1 month preparation process. Now, this preparation process is going to include harnessing the 4 tenets of modern competence, which is mastery, communication, reading and writing, networking using technology, to build yourself and prepare yourself for global opportunities. Understand that you must have some level of skill in all these four tenets in order to be able to have opportunities. We are going to have 2-3 assignments per week during this 1 month intensive learning period. We're going to have 2 live sessions every week. We're going to have 3 in-depth lesson videos a week, one-on-one mentorship calls with me, and you're equally going to have specially invited guest speakers worldwide. We're going to have speakers signing in all the way from Sierra Leone, like Abubakar has just joined us. We're going to have those from Mauritius, we're going to have those from Egypt, we're going to have those from Rwanda, and they're going to come in and really impart on us the 4 tenets of modern competence. Now, this is the end of my presentation, and that is my email right there. You can even reach out to me on YouTube at Titus AB. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well as other platforms. So, again, I just want to say that this particular session has really been a squeeze for everything. We have tried to bring down everything that we could possibly afford for you within this 1 hour session. But we are going to give you the opportunity to join us on a 1 month intensive session, an intensive training period that is really going to prepare you for global opportunities. As Mahan is going to reach out to each and every one of you after this with some forms that you fill, we're going to ask you some questions, we're going to receive some data from you, and from there, we're going to proceed to really make sure that young people in Cameroon gain access to these opportunities and really expand their world. Because as a Cameroonian, I've noticed what is going on. I've seen that it is a challenging environment. It is very challenging. It is difficult. It is tough, but we can help you to overcome some of these challenges. So I know that some of you on this call right now are quite interested in these opportunities, and so we are going to reach out to you in the group immediately after this. I'm going to send you these forms, and we are going to get involved, prepare you for global opportunities, and make sure that you not only find these opportunities, get access to them, but equally come back and make sure that other people equally have access to these opportunities. So it's been a wonderful, I don't know how long it has been now, 1 hour 45 minutes with every one of you. I am so glad to have had you on this presentation. I'm really quite proud, and I want to appreciate our hosts for today. Kinley Brandy, who has been here and done such wonderful work for us, and Asmahan Sahid, who is always there to do a great deal of job at Exponential and equally with youth opportunities. Thank you once more. And let me just pick 2 questions right now in the comment section and respond to them. So the first question is there an upper age limit for this? Now, there's no upper age limit. There's no age limit. We can take persons from the age of 13 all the way up, right? We're taking 13 because at that particular age, you're still in school, you're still handling some academic work and things like that. So we want to take those from 13 and above. So 45 years old, 50 years old. Some of these opportunities will take individuals like you. The next question that I'm going to respond to is, how do we join the WhatsApp group? Okay, good. So you're going to reach out. I'm going to drop the link to the WhatsApp group here so that you can click on it right now and join and start gaining access to these opportunities. All right, it has been a wonderful session with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the contributions that you have done in the comment section. It has been wonderful. I've read your comments, most of them, and some of the questions we have not been able to answer, but we are going to surely answer all these questions in the WhatsApp group. So we're going to constitute a file with all the answers to these questions and submit in the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much, and all of you have a wonderful day. Have a lovely evening and a great weekend.